What is going on, everyone? Welcome to season 4, episode 1 of Hit the Books. We are back for our football talk. College football got started last week. NFL gets started tomorrow. I know I have my last fantasy draft tonight. We finally made it. Football is here. That is going to be the main topic of discussion today. No Jesse this week, just me, Ace, and Mackie. Mackie, I'll hand things off over to you. We finally made it to football. First episode talking football lines. How are we feeling heading into it?
Yeah, week 1, I think we've all been itching all summer. I'm not gonna lie, I think this summer went a little faster than the other ones, but, maybe I've just been a little more occupied, but, week 1 finally here, we get college football, we got a little taste of that last week, we're getting a feel for all these teams, but, yeah, obviously, we're all just really excited for this NFL season to start.
I think the Olympics helped with that because I was thinking about that too the other day. I was like, why did it feel like football just ended and now it's or like basketball and all those just ended? I feel like it was because with
It
the
was a
Olympics, I
quicker
feel like that
summer. It
definitely
was
helped.
definitely a quicker summer.
Yeah. Ace, hand things off over to you. Football's officially back tomorrow. Chiefs, Ravens. How are we feeling?
Yeah, like you guys said, I mean, summer went by, some good baseball action there, a little bit of the Olympics to help us get through it, but we're back to the NFL season now. That college football is pretty good to watch for me, but I'm just hyped that we got the NFL back starting tomorrow with a great game. We get blessed with a Friday game, and then the whole primetime slate honestly is great. And then, we're looking forward to Sunday. We got the live stream that everybody's been clamoring about. So exciting times here. I'm ready to get rolling talking about these week one lines.
Yeah, like we said, got a couple things touch on some dates coming up. Obviously, like we said, when you're hearing this, obviously Thursday, September 5th, we will have Chiefs Ravens as our Thursday night game to kick off the NFL season. Friday, we have our first ever Friday week 1 game, so that's exciting there down in Brazil between the Packers and Eagles. We'll get into all those spreads on just a little bit, but we do have the MLB playoffs right around the corner as we move into we're now a week into September, so MLB playoffs going to be coming around by the end of this month. And September 14th, that's just over a week away. I think it's next weekend, 10 days away. We have UFC 306. O'Malley, I forget who he's fighting at the Sphere in Las Vegas. That's definitely one I have marked on my calendar to tune into out there. I'm excited to see what they're able to do at the Sphere. We all heard what Dana White said when the NHL had their draft there. I'm excited to see how he plans on one-upping that, as he said. But like we said, starting segment this week, which teams do you think will have the best record in the NFL this season? Ace, we'll start it off with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think my first pick I think my three are gonna be pretty obvious. I'm gonna throw one outlier. I'll leave the Chiefs out just because they can win that division without even trying. And it's crazy. I'll probably still take them almost every week, but their season doesn't start till the end of the year. I'm gonna go with the Ravens though in my top three group. I think they have the best record in the AFC North, best record in the AFC again, and I think they're able to take home that regular season bye seed in the AFC. In the NFC, I'm gonna go with the 49ers. I think they're gonna run the table once again. They're one of the best teams in the league out there. Some shocking ones that I would consider putting up there. I think the Cowboys are gonna overperform. I don't know why people are sleeping on them so hard. I think the Cowboys and the Dolphins are two teams that I'm looking at to have bigger seasons than many people project. But those are two regular season teams that really show off what they do. Dak in a contract year, so I think he has a chance to press for the MVP. I think Tua and Tyreek, that Mike McDaniel's offense is going to snap. But in my third spot, I got to do it, I think. I'm going to put the Chiefs back in there. It's got to be the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Niners. I know it's the same as last year. A lot of people are going to try and project differently, but it's the easy pick. Mackie, let me know what you think.
Yeah, you tried to steer away from the Chiefs there, but at the end of the day, they pulled you back in. I got 2 of the same as you. I'm gonna go Chiefs and Niners to both get 13 wins. I think they both end up 13 and 4. 2 best teams in the league. I think they show it in the regular season. Um, for the third spot, I mean, I think there's gonna be a few teams with 12 wins, but I'm gonna throw a wild card out there. Ace is not gonna like it, but I'm gonna go Joe B and the Bengals. I think the Bengals will have 12 wins, win that AFC North, and I mean, I think there's gonna be 4 or 5 teams with 12 wins, but I'm just gonna throw the Bengals out there.
Yeah, I don't have as much backup into this. I haven't really looked at these team schedules. This is more just based on my predictions heading into the year. I think the Chiefs will finish the season with the best record, but kind of like Ace said, they tend to drop some games early on in the year. But I do think they'll get to that 13-4 mark and lead the NFL with the best record, or possibly even better with a 14-3. I think they'll get there tomorrow. They have a tough matchup against Baltimore, but looking past that, a couple teams I like. I know I've said I don't even love the 49ers as much this year. Obviously, they got Trent Williams back. They got Ayuk back. They kind of have that same team. I still think the Brock Purdy magic is going to run out at some point. I'm not going to put the 49ers in this list. I'll do what Mackie did. I'm going to throw these Cincinnati Bengals in there. That's who I have to pick
Wow.
to win this AFC North.
Bro.
I think they'll be right there around 12 wins. And then the second team that I had, I think the number one seed in the NFC this year is the Detroit Lions. So give me the Detroit Lions to end the season with 13 or 12 wins. All right, we are back after a little bit of technical difficulty with Ace there. We're going to get into the world of college football, then lead ourselves into the world of the NFL and our NFL slate for week one. So in college football, with week one of college football in the rearview mirror, who would you say is the biggest winner and biggest loser through the first week of college football?
I I think it's pretty obvious who the biggest loser is. I don't even really need to say it, but I'm gonna say Florida State. Um, Another team to keep an eye on, Oregon, only beating Idaho by 10 points. I don't really know what that was, but they were a third-ranked team in the country going into that game, and obviously they dropped to I think 8 or 9 or something like that.
Yeah, I think
But
they're maybe 7.
yeah, but a little concerning there. But they got the win, so not too much to be concerned of, I guess. But two winners I'm gonna go with. Penn State. I know they played West Virginia, and West Virginia's not the best opponent, but to go into West Virginia kind of as a rival and win by what they win 22, 34 to 12, something like that.
34 to 12. It was just an
Yeah.
ass kicking from start to finish.
Defense looked great. So I think there's a lot of upside for Penn State. And Ole Miss looked awesome. They put up 76 points. They have a lot going for them. Obviously, their offense knows how to score the ball. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You score 76 points. It's a good outing. And keeping a donut on the board is also pretty impressive. So they had college football playoff expectations coming into the season, and I think that they're definitely going to be there towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I totally agree. The biggest loser, I think, like you said, everyone's gonna say Florida State. I do agree, like that. They're totally out of the picture for the college football playoff. Starting 0-2, they preseason ranked number 10. Now they're not ranked at all. The one that I kind of had some eyes on, I know it was a neutral site, but USC, LSU. LSU is 0-5 now in their last 5 week one games. Last year they dropped one to Florida State with Jordan Travis. LSU under Brian Kelly just continuously can't get something figured out to start out the season. Ranked 13th, going up against 23 USC. I thought LSU, like I watched that first half. I think Garrett Nussmeier, I'm blanking on that number 2 receiver, like not the number 2 receiver, he's number 2. The dude that got in trouble, did you see his celebration? He like, yeah, he's like shooting the defensive backs, and the ref was like, yeah, that's a 15-yarder. You can't do that.
And then he did it again on the sideline.
Yeah, that's my uncle's an LSU alumni, and like so I hear a lot about LSU, and ever since they got Brian Kelly, I've fucked with him so hard because I can't stand Brian Kelly. I think he's just I would never want him as my coach personally, and this was such a Brian Kelly game to drop. I know it was a rank versus ranked, but I don't know. I have no expectations for LSU after this game, and I saw they have a 6% chance to get in the playoff after this. This is one that you could say that they didn't need to win. Like you're going up against a ranked opponent. They only slid to 18th. They're only 6 spots out of that 12-team playoff. But I think Nussmeier, they're going to do enough, but I just don't trust Brian Kelly ever. So I'm going to say LSU already blew their season in the first game.
I'm going to disagree with you here just because I think that Lincoln Riley is a top 3 coach in college football, and I think that he had USC ready for that game. USC, I think, is a shoo-in for the college football playoff now. They looked really good. The quarterback,
Miller Moss looked like a stud. That's his name, Miller Moss.
Dog, dude. He looked like a stud. USC has a good team. I think 23 is underrating them. I think at the end of the day, when USC is a top 10 seed and they have to look back at LSU's losses, that'll be a good one.
This is the first time that USC has had a defense, and if I'm Caleb Williams watching that USC game, I'd be like, are you fucking
He's
kidding
like, we
me,
would have
dude?
been national champions if you guys just gave me anything.
If he had that defense, this team would be ranked 6th in the country right now. Maybe higher.
Yeah.
But I like what you said about Ole Miss. I think that's a good spot. There's a couple teams. Obviously, another one. No one wants to hear this one. Georgia. They're already the first-ranked team in the nation. They were going up against a 14th team in Clemson. Obviously, Clemson, SEC, ACC. SEC usually little brothers. Them. We both said that this was going to happen. I think that's a big win for Georgia. I know it was on their home field. Just kind of coming out, showing it's the new team. Kirby Smart still going to get back to where they were 2 years ago when they were back-to-back national champions. I look for them to obviously roll through the regular season. I'm interested to see. I haven't looked at their schedule too much when their first kind of big game is. I'm going to pull this up right now. Tennessee Tech, Kentucky, Alabama in week 4 in Alabama. So there's your first one. Then they got Texas in Texas. Jesus Christ.
It's a SEC. It's a loaded SEC now, dude.
Ole Miss in Ole Miss. Do they have any?
Well, just think about it, dude. Last year we looked at their schedule and we were like, they don't play one hard team the entire season. Now they're gonna have a little bit of a gauntlet, but I mean,
they're still the better team. Like they're still gonna be favored in most of those games. Maybe not. I don't
going
know. Like
into Texas and Ole Miss is gonna be tough, but I mean, when you're playing in
the spreads are.
Athens,
They're playing in Bama, Georgia right now. The line is -4.5, so they're favored in that game. Going to Texas right now, they're favored -2.5. And then what was the other one? They're -6.5 in Ole Miss. I think that was also a kind of a dud. I could have said Clemson for the loser of the week. Obviously, they hyped up that game, but going up against the number 1 team in the nation, obviously
in Athens.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main reason I did that there. But like we said. Yeah, exactly. Florida State now obviously 0-2 on the year, starting with a loss in Ireland week 0 against Georgia Tech. Boston College in week 1. Do you think there's a situation where Florida State wins, say, if you looked at Florida State's schedule, like if they were playing like this, there's a very real chance that they get 5-6 wins? Like,
I mean, it just comes down to how DJ Ukulele can play. I mean, he's missing guys wide open in the end zone. He doesn't look anything like a top 5 quarterback like he's looked at coming into this season. I mean, he looked good last year at Oregon State too. So I don't know why he's shit in the bed here. Maybe it's the pressure, but I don't know. I haven't looked at his schedule.
They already blew it. They already blew it.
The ACC is, I mean, it's not the hardest conference, but
I think I think their only chance to get in I saw is they win the ACC.
Yeah, you got to go to Miami. You got to go to Notre Dame. That's just 2 losses right there. It's not even.
Yeah, I agree. But then I said we kind of already talked about this LSU one, so let's look at the top 25 for week 2 coming into this week. Like we said, once I can get this pulled up, Georgia remains 1, OSU remains 2, Texas goes to 3, Alabama at 4, Notre Dame 5, Ole Miss 6, Oregon slides back to 7 after you said, or like you said, after that low deficit win over Idaho in Eugene. Penn State 8 does not move after a win in Morgantown. Missouri comes up a couple spots to 9, and Michigan to 10, sliding back a spot despite the win. A couple other teams, like I said, LSU slid back to 18th, Clemson back to 25th after losing in Georgia. I thought that was a kind of a tough knockback, personally. Like, I know they didn't really show much of anything, but
I think it was the fact that they scored 3 points.
I agree, but like a lot of these other teams, they go like, who's 14th right now? Tennessee. Yeah, they do better than that. I don't know. I was shocked to see them slide that far to 25, but they had to keep them ranked because of where they were playing, and like you said, the atmosphere there. It's definitely not the easy place to go into. I like Miami sliding into this top 15 at number 12. They're now that first team in, or last team in this playoff spot. Cam Ward had a hell of a game in Florida. The Washington State transfer came down to Miami. Miami has high expectations this year.
I don't know if that game
slides up to 13. Go ahead.
I don't know if that game says more about Florida or Miami, but Miami did look strong.
I think it's. I personally, I was watching that game. I think that said a lot about Florida. I think Florida just fucking sucks this year.
Yeah, but Miami obviously.
But I'm not downplaying Miami. I think they're very good as well.
One team I'm keeping an eye on is Arizona. Noah Fafita, dog. He was last year too. They put up 61 points.
Mm-hmm.
That guy McMillan had 4 touchdowns too. So they have a little duo going on there in Arizona. I think if their defense can step up at all, which they're playing in the Big 12, it shouldn't have to be a problem. But that offense is
you can score points. If you can score points in the Big 12, you can hang around.
Yeah, exactly, and they have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big Noah Fafita guy.
The top 2 or the top week 2 matchups coming into this week. I think the biggest game of the weekend obviously is going to be number 3 Texas heading to number 10 Michigan. Up there in Ann Arbor. I believe that is Saturday at noon. I want to double check that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Saturday at noon. That's Fox Big Noon kickoff there up in Ann Arbor. Then we have number 14 Tennessee at number 24 NC State. So another SEC ACC matchup. ACC is going to be home this time. Be interesting to see what that is there. I haven't looked at any of the spreads on these games. I figure we'll go over that.
Tennessee is -8. Texas is -7.5.
Do you have any opinion on either of those?
I think there's gonna be a lot of money on Texas, but I do like Texas. I'm kind of big on them this year, but I mean, I don't know. I think Michigan had a pretty bad outing, but
I agree. I now that Texas is out of the Big 12, obviously West Virginia alumni like hated Texas my entire college career. I can now kind of root for Texas, them being in the SEC.
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna root for them. Don't get me wrong. It's still horns down, but
That's a
uh,
nice team though. Like I'm gonna bet on that
I
team
think
a
they're a good
lot
team.
this year.
I
Yeah,
think they're a good team is what I meant by I like them, but I think there's gonna be a shit ton of money on Texas, so I'm gonna stay away from them when it's hard to go into the big house too. Gotta
yeah.
remember that. But it should be a good game. I do like Tennessee though. I'm not big on NC State this year.
That's a SEC against ACC. You can talk me into any SEC spread. I don't care where they're playing the game at. They little brother the ACC almost every time.
Yeah, Tennessee put up almost a 70 piece last week.
Yeah.
They'll get the offense going. I think they'll.
And then the night game that I'm excited to watch: Colorado at Nebraska. Dylan Raiola, Shadur Sanders. That's a nice quarterback matchup going there. Big 12 versus Big 10. Raiola, Nebraska had a really nice first game. It was against like fucking UTEP. So again, hard to tell what that means for Nebraska. Colorado got a big win at home. Let North Dakota State cover and hang around. So I'm excited for this game. I think do you know the spread on that one? Nebraska.
Nebraska -7.5.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that one yet because obviously the public's going to love Colorado as an underdog. I do think this Nebraska team is very good with Raiola and some of the receivers that they have. They have a very pesky defense. It's going to hang around in the Big Ten. This one I'll probably have to wait, and you'll have to stay tuned for the card for just to see which way we're going to go on this one. I want to see where the money's at on this one, though. Let me
Come
pull this
on,
up.
you don't even have to look at it.
I know what you mean, but like, see, right? I mean, according to CBS, what the fuck is my phone trying to get my Face ID? According to CBS, the money right now is on Nebraska at 60%, but the people are gonna start hammering that plus 7.5. They'll come in late. They're probably waiting for it to rise. I don't know what the advantage is between 7 and 8, but let me check this other app here real quick. All right, fuck it. Yeah, well, just stay tuned to the social media. We'll get some plays out this weekend. What was our final record last week? I don't think we didn't do good. We had West Virginia and Texas A&M. Those were two tough. Texas A&M, that pissed me the fuck off. I'll tell you that.
Did we go 0-2 last weekend?
I think we did on Saturday. I know we did, and then yeah, because we both sent plays in LSU, USC. You had USC +4. I had the under. Of course, both fucking hit. That's what happened. I remember that.
No, yeah,
I
I
was
did
like,
pretty good. It's just our plays that we actually played.
yeah, exactly. But we'll bounce back this week. It's always tough calling games in week one. Obviously, kind of stay tuned. Same thing. You'll hear me say that a couple times in the NFL this week, as I want to get a better look at some of these teams. But like I said, college football getting ready. We have 5 days starting tomorrow of NFL and college football all weekend. Definitely going to be excited for that. This past week in the world of golf, we had the season come to a close, or at least the last kind of major. Not major, but like the last kind of big tournament that most people have their eyes on, the Tour Championship. And Scotty Scheffler remains the top golfer in the world, ends the season with a dominating performance at the Tour Championship. Scheffler secured his 7th win of the year, not counting an Olympic gold medal. With the win, Scotty set a record for yearly earnings on the PGA Tour with a total of $62.5 million won in the calendar year. Do you think this will carry over into 2025? Do you think this is just a year of a hot golfer? I think it will. And the other thing I wanted to say was, did you see the PGA earnings for the year? His caddy is higher than, I forget the percentage of golfers.
Probably second place.
Well, he made 6.5 million this year. He's higher than like Batia, like all those mid guys. Like, you got to think how much money they get for getting third at a major. They get like 5 million. You know what I mean?
Some of them,
so it's so like Morikawa, Rory, all those guys that have came in second, third, they get that money. But like some of the names that he's above is crazy.
Yeah, imagine making 6.5 mil to be a caddy.
Carry his fucking background. Like, how much can you? Here's my other thing.
How much are you telling Scotty Scheffler to do?
That was what I was just gonna say. What is he actually paying?
I get it, because sometimes emotions get the best of you, and he probably wants to like do things that he probably shouldn't at the end of the day. So I'm sure he like does stuff at the end of the day. But I mean, if he's playing his game, you are literally just carrying his bag.
You're just standing front row, sit back and watch the show.
Yeah, and you're like taking the club out without saying a word. Like you know exactly what club it is. He knows exactly what club it is.
Yeah. I feel like
He,
that's most of the time when golfers are good is like when you have a good like a lot
a lot of it's
Tiger
a lot of it's
Tiger
reading
had his
range,
issues with
so.
caddies. Like, yeah, that's the other thing. That I mean, that's at golf. Everything comes down to putting. But like golf, when Tiger had his issues with the caddy, it seems like when these guys find a caddy that they trust and like actually like, this is what happens. I'm not saying they go on a $62.5 million year and win 8 tournaments, including the Olympics. Like, I I I don't know. He's something special. I really haven't witnessed something like this. I wasn't too into golf when Tiger was on his crazy run in the early 2000s and kind of leading up to that. I remember obviously the 2019 Masters watching Tiger win, but I remember like vague moments of it. But this is kind of my version of that. That's why I'm so in depth with kind of following him this crazy year that he's just had, and I think he's going to pick up right where he left off next year.
Yeah, I mean he's the best we've seen since Tiger. I'm not saying he's close to Tiger, not yet at least, but he is the best we've seen since Tiger, and that's not a fluke run. You can't do what he did
No,
and
yeah,
just kind of fall off the map. So he'll be back definitely, but I don't know if he's ever gonna be able to hit it at this rate again.
yeah. And then, did you see today they announced Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler are going to be facing off against Bryson and Brooks Koepka in a made-for-TV
Bryson
match.
and Brooks used to hate each other. That's
Now
awesome.
they're doing Live versus PGA. So the Tour and Live Stars will go head-to-head in Las Vegas. I assume it's at the Wynn where they do all of these events. And we'll go head-to-head in Las Vegas on TNT in mid-December. My only thing about this is I wish instead of Rory, I wish it was Xander, but I'm definitely excited to watch this.
Yeah, I like this type of things. It's fun to watch, good content.
All right, let's get into our NFL Week 1 slate. Ace having some technical difficulties. Not going to be with us the rest of the episode. Just me and Mackie here to get through our Week 1 slate. So, Mackie, we'll start over. Like I said, Ravens heading to Kansas City. Ravens a 3-point underdog. Chiefs the 3-point favorite. Chiefs minus 150 on the money line. Ravens plus 125 as an underdog. Over under a 47. Which way are you leaning on this game?
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but I don't really have a great read on this game to start. I kind of lean Ravens in this one. I think that we saw the Chiefs drop week 1 last year to the Detroit Lions and ended up winning the Super Bowl. So it's no over exaggeration on the Chiefs not being top tier this year. But I think both these teams are play really good regular season football. Lamar Jackson's looking for something bigger this year. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. You see, the addition of Derrick Henry will probably be pretty big. Zay Flowers should have a pretty big game. I think it's going to be a close one at the end of the day, but I think the +3 here might be safe. You don't really want to give up points in this game, so I think I'm leaning Ravens +3 in this one.
Yeah, I kind of agree that in the sense that I don't love a side in this one. I kind of lean on Kansas City more, but there's obviously a lot of people are going to think Kansas City come out. There's going to be a lot of money on that minus 150 money line. It's going to be the first leg of a lot of people's NFL Week 1 parlays. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Ravens win this one. Anytime you get two Super Bowl contenders going up against each other this early on in the year, I'm more like to get a read and see how they're going to play in these big games. Obviously, a home game, Chiefs, back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Like you said, they didn't start the year last year with a win. They had to go up against a tough Detroit team. We saw where that Detroit team ended up in the NFC Championship. I'm gonna avoid a side on this one. You lean Ravens. I do lean on the Chiefs. Don't love the 3 points, but I do like. One thing I've already locked in is Pacheco. I think he gets the first touchdown of the NFL season, first touchdown of the game. I got it at plus 650. I think it's at 600, maybe 650 still. I do love that play. I think a lot of people are, trying to be too cutesy with it. They're going to go to Xavier Worthy. They're going to go here. They're going to just go to what works with them. They're going to get down to the 5-yard line. Mahomes isn't going to run it in. The only thing that scares me is obviously 87, and he's always a touchdown eater. But give me Pacheco to score first. Even any time, if you're not a first touchdown guy, half the reason I like to take the first touchdown is because most of these guys, when I bet them, they either score first or don't score at all. So I'd rather take a plus 600 than a minus 115. Give me Isaiah Pacheco to score the first touchdown of this game, plus 650. That is my play for this one. Probably not going to have a side on this one. If Ace was here, I'm sure he would have a side on this one. But Make sure you're staying tuned to our social medias. We'll get some plays out there for you tomorrow night. I know we're all excited for the NFL to get started. And then, like I said, on Friday, we have our first NFL game on a Friday in week 1. It is our Peacock game down in Brazil, where the Green Bay Packers will be taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in this neutral venue. The Eagles come in as a 2-point favorite, minus 130 on the money line, with the Packers +2 and +110 on the money line. Over under at 49. Which way do you go here in the Brazil game? Do you like the Eagles? Do you lean on the Packers to kind of pick up where they left off last year?
Yeah, a few things before I give my pick. I've seen favorites are hitting at like 69% straight up and against the spread in international games, which is huge. But I also
Yeah.
see a lot of money coming in on the Eagles. So this one's both can go both ways. The Eagles had a very underperforming or underwhelming end of the season last year, and blowing the division, losing first round to in that wild card to the Bucks on the road. But I mean, they're going to come back strong. They still have an offensive line. Um, the addition of Huff, I know they lost Hassan Reddick, but they got Bryce Huff in that linebacker position. So that defense is still pretty stacked. You obviously have all the weapons all around. You have Saquon Barkley. The addition of Saquon's huge. You still have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I think it comes down to how Jalen Hurts is going to play. He didn't look like himself the end of the last season. If he can bounce back with this pretty stacked team, I think they'll be all right. I think the Packers are a bit overrated just because that one playoff win last year against Cowboys, but they're definitely not someone to overlook as well. So I lean Eagles -2.5 in this one, but no official play yet.
Yeah, I also lean on the Eagles in this matchup. I like them minus the 2 points. I think like you said, the Barkley, all the additions they made. I think this team's looking to start fast. I know this Packers team. I think there's gonna be. I know you said the money's on the Eagles. I was thinking it would be the other way. I do lean on Philly to cover this game. I also like the over. Not sure. It's a very high one at 49. Maybe a 28, 23 kind of game. 28-24 somewhere in there. It's going to have to be high scoring. I think they'll put on a show for the international fans. I do lean on the Eagles. I love them to force feed Saquon a touchdown. I don't know what his odds are to get in the end zone on Friday. I think they'll make sure he gets in. I'm going to pull that up right here, right now.
Sure, it's
Jalen,
minus.
yeah, Jalen and Saquon are the favorites for the first touchdown at +650 each way on the anytime TD. Saquon is the only minus at -105. So I definitely like them to force feed Saquon a touchdown to get him one in his first game as a Philadelphia Eagle. I do lean on the Eagles with the spread. I'm most likely gonna have a play on this game compared to tomorrow night in Kansas City. I like the game a little bit more. I feel like it could go both ways. It's another similar matchup with two really good teams in their conference: Ravens, Chiefs, Packers, Eagles. Normally, I would like to get a feel for these teams, but I think the international play kind of helps the Eagles. I know that's kind of crazy, but like, uh, I don't love the Packers as much as most people do. I think they're getting a little too much hype. I really like that Packers team with Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love, the receivers they have, and the pieces they have on defense. I think it's going to take a little bit to click. I don't think it's going to become as easy as most people think. Give me the Eagles -2 on Friday in Brazil.
Yeah, it
But
seems like we're leaning the same side as this one. No official play for me yet, though.
yeah, but like I said, Sunday we'll get into our 1 o'clock slate. We have our first game, the battle, or two of the teams in Florida. Jacksonville heading to Miami on an AFC matchup. Jaguars a 3.5 point underdog. Over under is 49, and Jaguars money line +145 with the Dolphins at -175. I'll start us out here on this one. Obviously, Miami, a lot of people very high on them coming into this year. I was kind of impressed with some of the moves that Jacksonville made. I don't know if they're going to be able to win this game. I think there's a situation, though, where they hang around this. I don't love the 3.5. I don't necessarily have a side on this one right now. I'm kind of watching where this goes. I kind of like Jacksonville with the points, though. I feel like Miami's going to be a big survivor pick for a lot of people in week 1. There's obviously a couple bigger favorites. I could see Miami slip up and lose this. I don't want to say the Jaguars are going to win the game. I do right now lean on the Jags plus the 3.5. I'm curious to see which way you go on this. I know I'm a little higher on that Jaguars team than most of us. Which way are you going on this one, Jags, Dolphins?
Yeah, I'm not big on the Jags, but I think they had Calvin Ridley last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Subtraction of Calvin Ridley, addition of Gabe Davis. It's definitely a downgrade. They've gotten healthier. They've gotten more pieces on the offensive line, and that defense is. I think that defense is going to be pesky this year.
yeah, I'm just not high on Trevor Lawrence as everybody else is. I think Miami's high flying offense is going to stick to the same script. They didn't really lose much on the offensive side. I think Devon Achane is going to have a. I know I wouldn't even call it a breakout year because of how well he played last year, but I think he's going to excel this year as the one. Um, it's going to come down to if Jacksonville's offense can keep up because I don't think Miami's going to have a problem
Scoring
putting
points.
points on the board. But I mean, Miami also doesn't have the strongest defense, so we could see a high scoring battle here. But I'm going to lean Miami. At 3.5 scares me though. If you can put it in a money line parlay or something like that, I don't really condone parlays, but if you got to do it, you got to do it. I think they get the job done here.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel. I don't love them to win the game. I do think this could be a close game late, and Dolphins could win this by a couple of points, and Jaguars could cover it. But um, like I said, nothing official there. We'll discuss a couple of these games further on Sunday during our live stream at 10 a.m. Make sure you're tuning in for that. Available wherever you catch your live streams at. We'll be live Sunday to go through our 5 games of the week, as well as give out our immortal lock for Sunday. Our next game, my Pittsburgh Steelers heading to Atlanta to take on this new look Atlanta Falcons team with Kirk Cousins, Raheem Morris as the head coach. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but Falcons a 3-point favorite in this one. Over under at 42. Falcons money line -160, and Steelers money line is +135. I'm interested to hear which way you're going on this.
Um, hold on one second. Sorry.
Because me, I'll kind of go in. Me as a Steeler fan, I like to think realistic. This is the obviously first rendition of the Steelers where you kind of don't really know what to expect. Russell being one of my favorite NFL players of all time, I'm obviously rooting for him to be, comeback player of the year, all this crazy shit. I'm going to be realistic about this. I could see some growing pains with the Steelers offense and give it some time to get going. Next week they play Denver, so if they lose this game, I don't think this is an end of the world. Move on to Fields, like totally trash the season. I do think they could struggle in this matchup, though. I just think the Steelers need to keep it low scoring like they always do. Let the defense do their thing. They have the better defense in Atlanta. I know Atlanta got a lot of nice pieces, but I think it could be a similar situation for them. New head coach, new quarterback, young running back, young receivers. Like everything's going to go through. I just think it's all progression and making sure that the familiarity, the chemistry, everything like that. Not everything always clicks in week one. That's the only thing I think my Steelers have going for them this week. The defense, and hoping that there's some growing pains down there in Atlanta, but another new offense coming to town with Pittsburgh. These are 2 new offenses going head to head. A low scoring over under at 42. I'm going to do what I do with my Steelers most often. I'm going to take the under in this game and hope the Steelers can force them to play their style of play.
Yeah, just too many uncertainties in this game. Like you said, Kirk down in Atlanta. Bijan should have a big role this year, though. I think that he's gonna have a breakout year. Definitely gonna have a good game. Tough defensive line to go up against in their first game back. But I don't know. I think a lot of money's got to be coming in on the Steelers in this one. At least for that because of that defense in this matchup. Too many uncertainties though, especially with the Steelers.
There's
I
so
don't.
many question marks around this whole game.
I'm not gonna have a play on this game. I can promise
Yeah,
you that. But
yeah.
I guess I lean Steelers with the points because whoever you're giving points in this game, I'm gonna lean 3.5 on the road. Give me about
The
a
money's
full.
on the Steelers to cover and Atlanta to win. So I feel like it's going to be either Steelers win or Atlanta covers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it can come down to a field goal though,
Yeah,
especially in a low
I
scoring
agree.
game.
Yeah, in a dome. I definitely think that. I like that under 42. Nothing official there. That'll probably be one of our games on Sunday that we're going to get into. So we'll give our official plays there. Our next game, the JJ McCarthy list Vikings are a favorite heading to New York to take on the Giants. Vikings are a 1.5-point favorite. Over under at 41. Believe no, not the lowest total of the week. And Vikings money line -120 with the Giants at +100. I'm going to trust the Vikings here. I like what the additions they made. I know Sam Darnold's under center here. I don't love anything the Giants have done. I know they got Malik Neighbors. He's going to be running around looking really good in that number 1 jersey that they just broke out for the first time. I forget how long. And Daniel Jones is struggling to get him the ball, and then he's throwing his helmet on the sidelines. I think Sam Darnold's going to do just enough to keep them in this game, and I think they're going to win this game. Give me the money line -120. I fucking hate a 1.5 point spread. It makes me feel like Vegas knows something I don't know. I'll lay the -120. Give me the Vikings to win this game. I like Aaron Jones to come in and fit really well with that offense. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson, they have the pieces to come in and get a big win here.
Hawk is
A lot of
out.
people. Oh, he's out.
Yeah, so is Jordan Addison.
I knew Jordan Addison was. I wasn't sure about Hawkinson, but a lot of people kind of overlooking this Vikings team, and clearly they've had some injury issues to start the year with McCarthy, Addison, now Hawkinson. That is totally news to me. I still like Aaron Jones and Jefferson and Darnold to lead them on a big win here. I don't love this Giants team. The only thing I like about this Giants team now that they got rid of Barkley is their defensive line with Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, the Giants have a nice front seven. I actually do lean the Giants in this one, and I am a big fan of Sam Darnold this year. Okay, I wouldn't say a big fan. I don't think he's going to shit the bed.
Rooting
He's
for
gonna
him.
do all right. I'm not even rooting for him. I think he's going to do all right, but I think Week 1 might be a little stretch, and he's going to overlook this Giants team and look to those harder games down the stretch. Um, he's gonna lean on Jettis heavy, and Jettis is gonna get the ball a lot. I could see a bit of a higher scoring game, but he's not gonna have a lot of time to throw the ball. That Vikings offensive line is not the best, and that Giants front seven
They're
front
going to get to
seven,
him.
they're gonna get to
Even
him.
that front four, they're going to get to him.
They're,
Like
go-
I
they're
don't
gonna
even.
they're gonna get to him. I think Daniel Jones is not gonna have to do that much, and like I said, Hawk is out too, so Sam Darnold doesn't have that many options right now. I do like Aaron Jones as well, but I think it's just going to be a little growing pains with this with this new Vikings team, expecting their rookie quarterback to come in and kind of have to change up their whole entire game plan. Giants can do all right. They have the weapons at receivers. They've Hyatt's not bad. Obviously, you're bringing in Malik Neighbors, and then you have Slayton as well, who's coming back. So I don't hate this Giants team. I don't like them. I don't think they're even close to a playoff team. But I think teams are writing them off with 3-4 wins. I think they can get to the 7-8 win mark and be respectable at least. And I think they get the job done here in a pretty weak performance by both teams. But I think the Giants come out on top.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying there. That's my only thing with the Giants is I have to see it from this offense that you took away their biggest piece. We'll have to see what Malik Neighbors comes in and does. Obviously, he's getting the comparisons to Odell Beckham Jr. when he was on the Giants. So the LSU ties to the Giants. I'm excited to watch him. I am a fan of his. I do have the Vikings in this one, though. We'll get into our first NFC South matchup of the week. Although I know we already went to the Falcons. This is a divisional matchup, I should say. First divisional matchup. The Carolina Panthers heading to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Saints at -4, over under 42. Saints money line -225. Panthers +180. Which way do you go on this one?
Give me the Saints. I'm not getting into this Panthers bullshit again this year. The Panthers are bullshit. Bryce Young is bullshit. I'm not even getting into it. Give me the Saints.
Dude, I kind of like the Panthers in this one. I was just gonna
Give me
say,
the under. Give me the under.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's an even safer pick for if we're gonna go on opposite sides on this one. I think the under is a very safe pick here. I like that. I like that spot.
I will say I don't know the exact numbers,
3.5 or
but
4.5?
on,
Oh, 4. I said 4.
well, I see 4, so I don't
Yeah.
really know. But I will say I don't know the exact numbers, but divisional game underdogs in week 1 are very profitable.
Really?
So that leans Panthers, but no, give me the Saints.
Yeah, I get you. Aces New England Patriots heading to Cincinnati to take on Joe Burrow. Hopefully Jamar Chase is there. He practiced today. Still no contract there. Bengals an 8-point favorite. Over under at 40.5. Bengals money line -400. Patriots +310. I'll take the Bengals -8. Are you going on the New England Patriots?
I'm gonna go 26-3, maybe 26-2.
When you gave a score prediction, I thought you were gonna have some way that the Patriots covered it in like a low-scoring game.
No. I think the Bengals might struggle out the gate, just like the first quarter
But
and
the
a half.
Patriots aren't even going to be able to score, so it's
How
not going to
long?
matter.
And the Bengals don't even have the best defense, but I mean, 26-3, 26-6, maybe.
So this is
No
our blowout of the
touchdowns.
week.
No touchdowns.
This is the blowout of the week. There has to be money all over the Bengals. Like, is there any situation this is a trap? I don't
But,
think so.
I mean, do we not remember last season how the season started? I think the public ate more than ever before. It was ridiculous. Never seen anything like it. I think we can get it to start the season at least.
Yeah.
Or at least in these games,
It's really not that heavy. It's only 55% on the spread.
And I think a lot of people are going to be staying away from the -8.5.
Yeah.
So
I
we're
think
gonna
they'll
start
easily win this game by 10 points. And to my thing with the Patriots, like, I know Ace isn't here to defend them, But like my thing with the Patriots this year is everyone's like, "Oh, Patriots, they're not going to be that bad. Their defense is going to keep them in it." You lost the heart and soul of your defense, which was your defensive 8-time Super Bowl champion head coach. That was literally the only reason they had a good defense. Like I know they have the pieces. They lost Judon. They still have Christian
They
Gonzalez.
they they
They
don't
lost
have
Barrymore for the year. They don't
have a
have
piece
pieces.
or two. They don't have the pieces. They have
Exactly.
Christian Gonzalez.
It's Gonzalez. They had Barrymore, but he had blood clots, so he's out for the year now. But literally, it's just Christian Gonzalez on that defense now. And I mean, Kyle Duggar, if you want to maybe say another name, he's not anywhere near the top of his position. But like, that's kind of what I'm saying is everyone's like, oh, Patriots. That like they kind of use that same idea that they use with the Steelers. It's like, oh, the offense sucks, but the defense will keep them in it. Last year, that might have been true, and it did in certain spots. But like, I think that excuse is totally out the window. Like, Gerard Mayo is known to be an offensive coach or wants to be an offensive coach, or I mean, even if he is going to be a defensive style coach, it's going to be a whole different defense than what you saw in the past with Belichick and the Patriots.
Here's my play. I'm locking it in right now. This will be on my card. Teaser. First play of the season will be a teaser. It's going to be Bengals -2.5, and I'm going to get the Ravens up to 9.
I like that. What are the odds? Are you already at like -110? You can't get it at like
Well,
9.5 or 10?
I haven't plugged it in, but 2-leg teasers at 6 points are always -110.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe
-120.
you maybe
Depending.
you could find a third team in there and get the Ravens at like plus 12, 13. But
Yeah, but
I don't
like
see a
doing all
situation
that.
where if
If
I think if the
they
Ravens
lose
lose
by
by 10,
9,
they're gonna
yeah,
lose
they're gonna
by
lose.
by
I like the 2
17.
teamers. I like the two teamers.
Yeah,
That's a
I
safe
totally
bet.
agree
I
with that.
like it. I think you guys should lock it in right now. Hopefully, you guys hear this by kickoff tomorrow.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Let's see. Our next game is the Tennessee Titans heading to Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears. Bears a 4-point favorite, over under at 45, even 45. A lot of even spreads. That's crazy. Or a lot of even totals. And Bears -200 on the money line with the Titans at plus 165. Can Caleb Williams start his career 1-0 against the spread?
Not betting it. Again, this is just another team that I think has way too many uncertainties. Apparently they have a decent defense. I don't see it just yet. I guess they have the weapons left and right, but I'm not trusting it just yet. They don't have a good offensive line. Caleb Williams is not going to have a lot of time to throw the ball. And a rookie quarterback, I don't care who you are. You could be Pat Mahomes, you could be Caleb Williams, whoever you are. A rookie quarterback coming into the NFL, which is a completely different pace that you have never seen before, and you have a pass rush coming at you like that with no offensive line. It's going to take time to adjust. He's going to have to adjust. I'm going to stay away from this one, but I guess I lean Bears. I don't like the Titans at all.
Yeah, this is one I actually was looking at. I want to see what the official number is on this game. This is one that I usually like my first half unders in the primetime games. This is one I actually kind of like in the 1 o'clock slate. I think the growing pains will show for the Bears, like you said. It's going to be a little bit different once the game starts. I could see this be like a 3-3 game in the end of the first quarter. May obviously 3-7 called either way. First half under is at 22.5. That is kind of alarmingly high, but I think I'm going to lock that in at 22.5. I think it'll start slow for both the Titans and the Bears, but I think either one of them will figure it out. I think the Bears will figure it
I think
out
that's a great bet.
and win the game, but I like that that first half under at 22.5. I never really look at them for the 1 o'clock games unless it's like the Steelers, but I do really like that play. I've been looking at that all day. That's definitely probably going to be one of my plays on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that play.
Our next game, 2 more 1 o'clock games. Arizona Cardinals heading to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Bills a 6.5-point favorite, -300 on the money line, with the Cardinals at plus 240. Over under at 48. Which way do you lean here?
I lean Cardinals with the points. I think Bills have a new offensive coordinator. It's not their style of play. He's a run-heavy offensive coordinator. And Josh Allen doesn't really have what he's used to having. He doesn't have Stephon Diggs. He doesn't have Gabe Davis. He's kind of rolling with Keon Coleman, a rookie who has never seen the NFL before, which I guess you're a wide receiver. It's a little bit easier to adapt. But you have Keon Coleman and you have Dalton Kincaid, I guess, as your second option here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's clear Shakir if you really want to talk about it. But
I like
Um,
James Cook out of the backfield. I think he'll add a little bit to the passing offense, but
yeah,
obviously
I'm
you
not
never
high
want
on
a
him.
running back to be your second or third option.
Yeah, one of my buddies is really high on him too, but I'm not high on him yet. I don't trust a running back in this offense in a Bills offense and a Josh Allen ran offense just yet. But offensive coordinator is run heavy, so I think we could see a different Bills this season. I don't trust them. I kind of lean Cardinals plus the 6.5, but a lot of uncertainties with that team as well with the defensive side of the ball. So could see a high scoring game. I'm gonna lean Cardinals plus 6.5 though.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I've told you I'm kind of high on this Cardinals team, like for what that's worth. Again, I'm not saying they're going to come in and be world beaters. There are going to be certain spots where they get a couple points in a game like this. I think that Kyler, McBride, Marvin Harrison. This is one of those teams that I think it'll start, and I think they'll kind of be able to start fast in the play style that they have. Their defense is kind of pesky. Like they have some pieces out there in Arizona. I think they're able to hang around in this game. This was one I was looking at and using in my teaser of the week. Kind of get the Cardinals at maybe 11, I guess it would be. And like, I kind of like your point of bringing the Bengals down to like a 3.5 or 4. I just punched this in. Cardinals, you can get it plus. This is a plus 100. It's not minus 110 because it doesn't really help you that much. But plus 11 for the Cardinals and minus 4 for the Bengals is plus 100. I do like that. But I like this play enough to take straight. I'm probably going to take the Cardinals plus the 6.5. I might buy it to 7 if I can get it at like minus 115, minus 120. But I do love the Cardinals in this spot. I think there's going to be a lot of money on the Bills. Similar situation to what I said. I think the Bills are going to be a lot of people's week 1 money line pick. They're going to be in a lot of parlays. Not saying the Panther or the Cardinals are going to win this game. I do think they're going to hang around and only lose this thing by 6 if they lose this game.
Yeah, same side.
And yep. And let's see, we had one more 1:00 game, I believe. Yes, another divisional matchup. Houston heading to fuck. Houston heading to Indianapolis to take on Anthony Richardson and the Colts. Colts are a 3-point home dog, plus 130 on the money line. Texans at minus 160 to win the game on the road. And the over-under at 49. Kind of lean on the Colts here. How about you?
Yeah, I mean the Texans are gonna get slammed this game, but I'm not a big Anthony Richardson fan. Another stat: since 2008, the Colts are 1-14-1 in Week 1 against the spread. I don't know how you could bet against that, but I don't know. The Texans have got to have so much money on them. That's how well
They've got to be the public pick of the week.
Yeah, I would definitely stay away from this game. You got to assume the Texans roll, but I don't know. It's never easy to go into Lucas Oil, so
I agree.
divisional matchup might be a tough one. Could be a good game. I'm gonna go with the under here, 48.5. Colts defense kind of keep them alive. Anthony Richardson stay on the field maybe.
Could fumble, could be out of the game by the end of the second quarter.
Could stay on the field and maybe keep this one close, but I'll stick with the under in this one. I don't have a play in the spread.
Yeah. I lean on the Colts. I don't know if I'm going to officially lock that in, but I do like that underplay. That's a good point there. As we move into our 4:00 slate with another divisional matchup, the Las Vegas Raiders heading to LA to take on the Chargers. Chargers a 3-point favorite, minus 160 on the money line. Raiders plus 135 to win this game on the road. Over under at 40.5. This is another one. I feel like I don't know where the money sits. I feel like it's going to be all over the Chargers. I like the Chargers in this matchup. And that's surprising. It is on the Raiders spread. I don't believe that. I'm going to check my other source, but
what?
It said 62% is on the Raiders to cover this game. I have a hard time believing that. Do you?
I think the Chargers are kind of in shambles. They don't have much going for them this year, except for obviously you still have Justin Herbert, but they're in a tough spot here. Obviously, you're losing your number 1 in Keenan Allen. Your number 1 now is probably Quentin Johnson. So I don't really know what they plan on doing.
Yeah, they have
they have Kelly in the backfield, I think.
It's Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins.
Gus Edwards, I forgot. I don't know. I don't really have a great plan in this game. I'm gonna roll with Gardner Minshew and go with the Raiders. I'm gonna go money line.
Raiders to cover. It's a win.
I think I'm gonna go money line here. I hate the Chargers. You know I hate the Chargers.
Yeah, no, I know you hate.
Be a biased play. Probably won't see it on my card, but I think the Raiders can get the job done.
No, I definitely think that's a good pick. Obviously, like we said, divisional dogs. I can definitely get behind any of those anytime. I've already said the other two that we've talked about. I could see it happen here. I don't love the Chargers in this spot. I lean on them to win this game just because they have the better quarterback. But like you said, they have no receivers left. I think the one piece I'm excited to watch is McConkey, the Georgia receiver that the Chargers drafted. I think he's going to be a nice fit in that offense. I think Harbaugh will find infinite ways to use him. I'm more excited to watch this Chargers team throughout the year. I don't think they're a threat for the playoffs. A lot of people are like, "Oh, are they going to be a 6 seed in the playoffs, a 5 seed?" Like, no, I don't think they're making the playoffs. They're going to be on the outside looking in. They could win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders pull this off, like you said. Kind of a hard game to call, personally.
Also, I know he already coached in the NFL. I know he went to the Super Bowl, but wait, he won a Super Bowl, didn't he? No, he
Went to
lost.
the Super. He
Yeah,
lost to
he
his brother.
lost to his brother. But I'm a big believer in college coaches coming into the NFL and just not having any success. And coming off a national championship, he's been coaching Michigan for how long? Last 10 years. He's got to adjust big time. The NFL is not what it was 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whenever he was coaching. So I think it's gonna be some growing pains with that Chargers team.
Yeah. Another 4:05 game, a Super Bowl 43 rematch with the Broncos heading to Seattle. Seahawks are a 6-point favorite. Over under at 42 and minus 250 on the money line. Are you buying any of this Bo Nix Broncos hype? Do you like the Broncos in this game, or do you like the Seahawks to come out on top and cover?
I kind of like Bo Nix, but he has no protection whatsoever. He has no help all around him whatsoever. He's gonna have a really tough time getting the ball out of his hands, finding open receivers, moving the ball downfield. I'm not a big fan of the Seahawks this year, but I think that they could be a safe play here.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from the spread on this one. I think Seattle will get a win. I've been thinking about using them in my survivor for my week 1 pick. I don't know which way I'm going to go with that, but I don't love the 6 points for some reason. I feel like Denver's going to play with a style this year that they're just like, I don't really give a fuck what happens here, and they're just going to sling the ball. I think they're going to have a good passing offense, but like you said, how much time is Bo Nix going to have to actually throw the ball? Not too much, especially going up against a Seahawks defense that has corners and really good safeties. They're going to be covered downfield. I'm interested to see what happens in this game. I might stay away from this game. I don't love the spread either way, but like I said, I think the Seahawks will come out on top. It's very hard to go into Seattle and get a win. Especially in week 1, that place is going to be rocking. Yeah, so again with that one, I don't know if we'll get into this one on Sunday, but obviously we're going to go through 5 games in our Mortal Locks. We might get some picks on this game come Sunday. Make sure you're tuning into that live stream, 10 a.m., available wherever you watch your live streams, YouTube, TikTok, the whole 9 yards. Our last 4:05 game is the Washington Commanders heading to Tampa Bay.
425.
I have 4:05 listed here, so that's my bad. Buccaneers, a 3-point favorite. Commanders, like I said, a 3-point underdog. Plus 140 on the money line for Washington, and Tampa Bay minus 165 on the money line. Over under at 43.5. I'm going to buy the hype with the Commanders, and I'm just not as big on the Bucs this year. I know, obviously, I for no reason really. My opinion changed on them. I still like Baker. They still have Mike Evans, Rashad White. They have the offense. The offensive line to protect them. I'm just going to say something crazy and say the Commanders going to keep this close. I don't love it. Probably not going to bet it. For the sake of conversation, I'll say there's a chance they win this game.
Yeah, I liked fucking being an idiot. I like Jalen Daniels in the preseason. I wasn't high on him coming into the season, but I think that he showed a lot. He showed that he can really fit balls in tight pockets and kind of read a defense. I know it's the preseason and you're not playing top players, but he looked confident out there. He looked like he knew what he was doing. I think he has a pretty good season, but I'm higher on Baker, and I think that this defense will be able to do enough to just at least rattle him a little, get some pressure on him, make him make some uncomfortable throws. And Baker just kind of needs to get the job done, do what he needs to do. He knows his receivers. He knows this offense. They're division winners last year. I think they're just going to keep rolling against a weaker opponent. Cover the 3.5, in my opinion. I think the Bucs will be pretty decent this year. I'm kind of high on them again.
Yeah, I think they'll be in that picture. I kind of lean on. For some reason. I just lean on Washington. I think they're one of the teams that.
Listen, it's a 3.5-point spread for a reason, right?
I was just gonna say, yeah, that 3.5. I like them with those points. I could see them lose this game in a tight matchup, obviously in Tampa Bay. So, not an easy place to go in and play, but yeah, give me the Commanders here with the points. And our last game in that 4 o'clock slate is your Dallas Cowboys heading to Cleveland. Cleveland, a 2.5 point favorite, over under at 41. Browns money line minus 145, and your Dallas Cowboys at plus 120. Not too often you see your Cowboys as an underdog, I feel like.
Yeah, I think they're a bit overlooked this year. But that being said, I kind of don't really like them in this spot. I think this is a game where, first of all, Dallas doesn't play well against the Browns ever. I think that we're playing a really tough defense. It's week one. There's a lot on the line for this year for Dak. Um, but I think that this is a game where we go into the offense really struggles and everyone freaks out about Dak and how the Cowboys don't have it this year and they have no run game and they put up minimal points and then he just kind of does his thing for the rest of the season. So I don't love them in this situation. I'm obviously not going to bet on the Browns, but I do like the under in this one. I don't think there's a lot of points. I think both defenses kind of stand their ground. Browns might pull this one out late just being at home, but I like the under in this one.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a safe play taking the under with these two defenses. I kind of lean on the Cowboys for kind of the same reason you said, but more about more about Cleveland. Like they're the all the hype coming into this year. They're the AFC North. Not many people are saying it's wide open. The Browns, I don't think they're in that picture. You and Ace, obviously, you guys respect them more. Being a Steeler fan might be some bias in there. I like the Cowboys to come into Cleveland and get a win. It's really going to come into, I heard today CD Lamb was in there working out yesterday, trying to get back up to, game speed. As obviously he just signed his deal last week, working on some contact, things like that. He said he hasn't been hit all off season. Not something you want to hear from your star wide receiver. Not that you want him getting trucked in drills in the middle of July, but like when it's September 4th and he's telling you he hasn't taken a hit since, I don't know, March or, OTAs. I don't even know if he was at OTAs. I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. The weather, all that stuff in Cleveland, usually things you have to worry about. Give me the Cowboys to come in and steal a win from Cleveland here in this first spot. Um, then we have Sunday Night Football, our first Sunday night game of the week. I feel like these two teams have played each other 7 times in the past year and a half. The Rams at the Lions, Stafford versus Goff. We're going to hear this storyline 15 times throughout this game. Lions beat the Rams in the playoffs last year. They played each other last year in the regular season. These two teams are kind of tied together. Obviously, Rams with Jared Goff, and then they traded for Stafford, win the Super Bowl. They love to tell you all about that every time these two teams play. And like I said, I feel like they've played each other 7 times in the past calendar year. I like Detroit. They're the better team here. I'm not going to overthink this one. But remember, was it 2 years ago with the Sunday night underdogs that were like 12-1?
No, I think it was might have been 2 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago now. Dude, it is crazy because like we've been doing this for so long now. Like we used to just be like, oh no, it was last year because it was when we started. Now they're just all blending together. I don't even know what season was what season. I'm gonna go with Detroit. I think they start fast. Gibbs, they have all the pieces on offense. The only thing that scares me is their defense. Could be a high scoring game. I am big on this Rams team as well. Give me the Lions minus the 3.5. I also lean on that over.
Yeah, I am kind of high on both these teams as well. I think they kind of both get theirs, but I think Jared Goff has a bit more of a chip on his shoulder than Matthew Stafford does playing against their former teams, mainly because Matthew Stafford was traded for and Jared Goff was traded because Matthew Stafford wanted to go over
Wanted
there.
to go to the Rams, yeah.
Exactly. But I don't know. He's been balling out. They have all the weapons on offense. They're putting up points is not going to be a problem, especially against this not a bad defense, but a mid defense.
Young, very young defense. It's going to be good, but very young.
Yeah, Jared Goff is 7-0 in week 1 against the spread. I think that they come
Damn.
out here, they're gonna have a great season. Probably might win 13 games. I don't have them at 13 games, but they could definitely overachieve. Um, I'm gonna go Lions here to get the job done. I think they win by a touchdown. I'll give them a touchdown, maybe 6 points.
I like that. And then our last game of week 1, Monday Night Football. We saw what happened last year on Monday Night Football with the Jets. Hoping for a different result this year, even as a non-biased, I almost said a non-biased Jets fan. I'm not a Jets fan. Let's just make that clear. Jets heading to San Francisco. This is, in my opinion, one of the games of the week, obviously. And they did it right, putting it in Monday night in a single, primetime slot. Jets are getting 4 points going to San Francisco to take on the Niners. Niners are a minus 200 money line. Jets at plus 165, over under at 44. Monday Night Football, which way do you go on this one? Are you trusting the Jets to go into San Fran and get a win?
I'm trusting the Jets to go into San Fran and make it a game. I think they cover the 4.5 points. I'm big on the 4.5 here. I love San Fran. I'm not that high on the Jets this year, but coming in week one, it's going to be one of those games. Everyone's expecting a lot out of the Jets. They're obviously expecting a lot out of the Niners as well. But this is a new thing we're going to see with Aaron Rodgers and this Jets team. I know he's been there for a year and a half now, but we haven't seen it. We have not seen it yet, and they have all the weapons. They have they really don't have a weak spot on this roster. If you look at it head to toe, they have all the weapons on offense. They have a pretty good offensive line. They have a great defense, top 3 defense in the league. You're going to see San Fran get theirs. You're probably going to see Christian McCaffrey in the end zone, but I think the Jets could keep it respectable, keep this one close. Maybe grab a lead at some point, and that 4.5 is going to be pretty crucial towards the end of the game. I think it's going to sit right around there, but I'm going to go Jets plus 4.5.
I agree, and I think this is the rare game where I might take I like the Jets on the spread, but I also like them to win this game. I might take the Jets on the money line. I rarely double dip with the spread and the money line when they're this tight, thinking they're going to lose by 4 if they lose this game. I'm just going to say the Jets win this game. Give me that plus 165 money line. I can already see Greenberg and all the Jet heads on ESPN come Tuesday morning. They went into San Fran and got a win. Aaron Rodgers, 3 touchdowns in his first full game as a Jet. I just feel like I can see all these storylines on Tuesday morning. I've been saying I feel like the Brock Purdy magic's going to run out. I don't think it runs out in week 1 in the first game. I do think they're going to struggle against this defense, though. This is going to be one of the best defenses that he's played. We saw him go up against a really good defense against Kansas City in the Super Bowl. Obviously, we know what that end result was. I know it was an overtime win for Kansas City, but I think this is going to be one of the better defenses that Brock Purdy's had to face. I think he's going to struggle early. I agree with what you said. I think they're just going to trust with what got them there last year. Feed McCaffrey. He'll get in the end zone. He'll be probably the most bet anytime touchdown scorer this week. I love I just like the 49ers to drop this game. I think kind of like what we said about the Jets. This is what we said about the Chiefs. Like, these teams know that you don't need to win these week 1 games, and they're obviously still going to be in that playoff picture at the end of the year. I'm going to go with the Jets, the plus 165. I feel like you can find it even higher. Let me double check that. It's going to take me a second to get there. Like, do you think it's crazy the Jets that I think the Jets are going to win this game?
No, absolutely not. I mean, some people think the Jets could be a top team in the league this year. They have the roster for it. They're the Jets, so it probably won't all fall into play, and something's going to happen. It's going to their season up, but I mean, it's week 1, so if they can get through one game, I mean, we saw him last year on Monday Night Football. I know Aaron Rodgers tore his ACL in the first play or whatever the hell he did, tore his Achilles. But Zach Wilson came in and won the game because of that defense. Basically,
A team won 7 games with those quarterbacks.
They made Josh Allen turn the ball over 4 or 5 times in week 1. They beat the Eagles later in the season. That
plus 185 on DraftKings. I will lock that in.
Yeah, I think the Jets have great value in this game. I'm not going to bet the money line because I hate the Jets and I don't want to hear all the Jets fans that I have to live with. But I'm gonna go with the Jets plus 4.5 here.
I like that. I love the spread
too. Plus 10.5 you can get them at.
I was just gonna say that's another good one right there. I just feel like a lot of people love the 49ers. 49ers going to be a lot of people's, the last leg of their 4-leggers that carries over into Monday. I'm going with the Jets here. Plus 185. Now that I saw that, yeah, I like it even better. What's the best spread? Let me see here. Is it still 4.5? Yeah, 4.5 minus 110 on DraftKings, and the best money line is plus 185 on DraftKings also. So, yeah, make sure you stay in tune to our social media. Obviously, we get our individual cards out there, so a lot more plays coming for the NFL. Thursday night, we have, like I said, Ravens Chiefs. Friday, Packers Eagles. Full slate on Sunday. College football on Saturday. And then, obviously, Monday Night Football to end things out. Did we have anything else to get into? I think we kind of crushed through all this.
Yeah, we good week 1 episode. We definitely
especially. Obviously, I didn't anticipate for week 1 there would only be 2 of us here. Ace having some technical difficulties. Jesse traveling like he does 7 days a week. So it just didn't work out for him. But like I said, NFL live stream on Sunday at 10 a.m. Going to go through all of our official plays for the week. 5 games that we're going to go through, as well as our Mortal Locks. We did that last year. A lot of people were liking the Mortal Lock section or the segment. Going to carry that over into this year. Give people our favorite plays of the week. Other than that, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Football is finally here. 5 straight days of football. Like I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, college football, Sunday and Monday with the NFL. It felt like I know we said the summer went like quickly, but I still feel like I've been looking at this week 1 slate for way too long. I just need them to play these games. I know I'm going to blink and this weekend's going to be over and we're already going to be waiting for week
So
2, but
annoying. That's
it's
the worst part about it. It's like
yeah,
gone like that.
yeah, exactly. So thank God we have a good slate of college on Saturday. Like I said, Colorado, Nebraska. We're going to get some plays out for these college games. Hopefully, have a better week than last week. We've been doing pretty good off the card, just haven't been able to figure out the ones that we want to post out for you guys. But we'll get that all figured out. Bounce back weekend incoming in week 2, and then week 1 in the NFL. Look for us to. I'm looking to get a quick start. Unlike last year, I think I had a tough week 1 in the first year that we did this. I started like 0-14, so week 1 has not been kind to me in the history of our podcast giving out picks, so might have to take it a little slow this week and see what's going on. But make sure you're staying tuned. Like I said, live stream on Sunday, college picks on Saturday, and then check out the social media for Thursday night, Friday night, Sunday, and Monday football. But other than that, thanks for listening. Wherever you're listening at, make sure you subscribe, like, follow, share. It really helps us and goes a long way. Like I said, no Ace and Jesse here, but we should all be there for the live stream on Sunday, giving picks out. That's all I got, Mackie. You got anything else?
Oh, good.
All right, sounds good. We will see you guys next week for week 2, and Sunday for our live stream. Thanks for listening.